Good morning. It's Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. How is everyone doing? I just arrived at my little getaway at the beach. If you listen closely, you might be able to hear the waves, but doubtful. And I'm slowing way down, and that feels really wonderful. But I didn't want to slow down on the readings, even though we did a little bit. All right, so we're going to drop in and do a Divine Masculine reading because it's been a minute. So let's see. All right, Spirit. Deep breaths, everyone. Take a moment to ground yourself, center yourself. Forgive the weird setup. Who knows how it's going to work out, but we're still showing up. Anything else, Spirit? Anything for these beloved Divine Masculines? What's showing up on their path? What are they confronting? What are the blocks showing up? What are the solutions to those blocks for the highest and best good of self and the planet? What do we need to know? Anything else? Okay. We have leadership. I'm going to move this back. Awesome. Well, before I don't want to speak too soon. Let's see where we're going with this. Root chakra, stepping into the leadership over your family of origin masculines, over your living situation, over your financial health and wellness, your financial stability. You're taking leadership over your feelings of stability in this world, of safety. Very interesting here. Okay. We have leadership, we have forgiveness in reverse, and we have self-love in reverse. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else? Thank you. And we have spiritual career. I just had a feeling that was going to come out. I didn't mean for this to happen, but we're doing a little semicircle here. Okay, what is in the unconscious? Happy ending in reverse in the shadow position. Okay, for those of you that have been watching me for a while, you know that the unconscious position is the card at the bottom of the deck. The unconscious position could be a shadow, could be something that you, that masculine energies are pushing away, that they don't want to look at. It might be something that we feel shame around, so we don't lean into it. And so because it's in the reverse in the unconscious position, for me, this is a false shadow. So masculines, your happy ending is not going to be what you think it is. This is really important for you masculines. Why? Because it's asking you to let go, to surrender what you think your happy ending is supposed to look like, your end goal, your target, and allow the path that the divine has for you to come forward. Oftentimes when we don't leave a space open for the divine, there's literally if we fill our lives, if we fill every nook and cranny of our lives, there's no room for the universe to gift us with something. That something could be a new partner, a new awareness, a new skill, a new calling, a new friendship, a new connection, maybe a new business, a new business partner. You're being asked to surrender what it looks like and just bring your awareness and attention back to the present moment. Masculines, that's all you have to do is master the present moment. Okay. So another message coming through, masculines, in order to step into aligned, sustainable leadership, you have to forgive the parts of self that didn't get it right, that failed time and time again. You have to forgive the people, places, and things that you have perceived have gotten in your way on your path to this happy ending. Hold on a second, please. Okay, these feel like their own message. I'm just gonna do this for my own mental clarity. A lot of primary colors here. Okay. Masculines, the longer it takes you or the longer you prolong this inner work of forgiving self and forgiving the parts of self that you need to, the longer it's going to take for you to step into your self-esteem, your self-confidence. It's not lost on me. We have the solar plexus energy in your happy ending. You're going to need to reach a critical mass of self-love and self-esteem in order to bring your happy ending into fruition. Now, that happy ending, what comes up for you, masculines? I've said it many times in this reading, what have you been visioning? What is the image? What is the dynamic? Whatever that is, you're being, you know what I was about to say? I was about to say, whatever that is, throw it out, but it sounded a little harsh. But that's how it's coming through. Again, this is a practice in detachment and surrendering control, masculines. So often when we try to control the external world, I'm saying it wrong. So often when we need to look inward and try to step into sovereignty in our internal world, we usually reach outside of self. We usually try to control our external environment to give us some semblance of safety. But really, it's like worshiping a false idol. When you try to control the chaotic world around you, outside of you, you end up spinning your wheels, right? You end up kind of stuck on this karmic wheel, reliving the same lessons over and over and over again. All right, I'm just going to do this. Does that work? Okay. We're making do with what we got here. Okay, Spirit, where do we want to go? Wow, this is a curveball. I can't even believe I didn't bring all my decks, clearly. But I did bring some, and this was a random one. Okay, Spirit, thank you for being with us here. And what would you like to say? Can you say more about this? I can't even pinpoint something. It all needs clarifying. Okay, so just what do we need to know for the highest and best good of self and the planet, Spirit? About leadership, about this next iteration of a spiritual career for the masculines. What would support them in forgiving self? Okay, we have nature and body balance. We have a message here, masculines, that a big piece of your self-love and being able to forgive the parts of self that maybe caused harm to others, maybe crossed your own boundary or crossed the boundaries of others. You're being called to balance your internal feminine, to give your inner feminine a bit of love right now. Why did I bring this up? Because in the feminine collective, massive themes around money, financial stability, and body, the physical vessel, and our physical environment, all root chakra things are coming up for the divine feminine collective here. So you're being asked, masculines, to surrender the hard parts to Mother Gaia. Excuse me. Wow, that was interesting. I coughed during that part. I always question that. Don't be afraid to use your voice in regards to asking for help, asking the divine. This is a call to turn to the divine, turn to God, whatever you find holy in your life, to seek deeper clarity. It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't matter what God or what, experience of the infinite that you have. It's all flavors of the same thing. It doesn't matter, but what does matter, masculines, is that you show up humbly, vulnerably, and kneeling at the altar of something beyond self. This is what's going to help you embrace that soft, emotional truth. When you embrace your inner feminine, it gives you access to all of this intuitive wisdom, all of this gnosis, all of this flowy emotional undercurrents that are sometimes suppressed. A separate message coming in here, masculines, that in order to fully step into leadership, you're going to have to do the work to integrate your inner feminine. Your leadership's going to be stalled unless you take all of these parts with you. All right. So another part of this journey is that we are, in order to deepen and enrich the relationship we have with ourselves, others, and the world around us, our quantum transpersonal existence, we have to take a step in wholeness. So masculines, where in your life have you taken a step but have leaving a part of self behind? It's really easy. Like, it's very easy to go your whole life working on your career or working on making money, but maybe not, step into your emotional wisdom or your emotional intelligence as much. We're just calling for greater balance. Okay. All right. Let's just keep it moving. I could do 10 separate readings on each individual theme that's coming up, but it's a lot. Okay. Anything else for masculines? Anything else for masculines? I can't stop staring at this spiritual career. And then we have this Len Yap. I still don't know how to say that. If anyone knows how to say it, put it in the comments. I think it's Len Yape or Len Yap. This is my New Orleans deck, so I'm assuming it's a maybe Creole word. I don't know. I have no idea. Or French. I have no idea. But it means a gift. So I'm just laughing. I asked about spiritual career and we have gift. Masculines, you've always had this pearl of truth within you. It's been in you the whole time. What's lacking is your awareness of it. It's so funny that I'm saying this. I just said this exact thing to 2 different people, except I shared it in the context of God. A couple people that have crossed my path have been feeling like they're drowning and disconnected. They're drowning and they can't find source. They feel like they're disconnected from God or from whatever that source is for them. And I just kept reiterating for them that we're never disconnected from God. We are God. God is us. There's a piece of, it's the yin yang balance. And so what's actually blocking, what's actually disconnected is our awareness of God, is our awareness, our perceptions are blocked, or our, it's like all you have to do, masculines, is clean your lens and it'll all start flowing again. But anyway, you have had this gift within you the entire time. Now, what is that gift for you? I don't know. Only you know that. Maybe it is the gift of leadership. Maybe you're meant to lead massive companies into a more conscious era. Maybe you are meant to, build infrastructure for a new, way of living, of, for some reason, urban planning is coming to us. That's just such a specific thing. Anything else? Not using this deck. Hold on a second. Where do we go, Spirit? Where do we go? I feel like I have cooties all of a sudden. I just got like a itchy, tingly scalp. That was weird. So yeah, pay attention to your divine knowing. The more you embrace your inner feminines, masculines, the more you're going to open up that third eye, that deep, that clear seeing, that clear knowing. The wisdom is going to start purifying the soul because your compass is working. It's in working order. The word recalibration is coming in, okay? Anything else for these divine masculine, Spirit? Thank you. We have wealth. I'm going to put it with spiritual career. Okay. I'm going to call out the masculine ego for a moment. So I think the masculine, and it's not their fault. It's not your fault, masculines. It's just our society and a bunch of shitty patterns that we've all had. In this society, softer arts, softer skills have not always been valued equally. And so something that is shifting for you, masculines, is that you're learning how to trust that a spiritual career will bring you wealth and prosperity. I think so many people think of like healers as broke, empathic, bleeding hearts that will give you the shirt off their back. And yes, there are absolutely those people. Most of them need to learn boundaries. I was one of those people. I had to learn boundaries. But there's something here, masculines, like you have to break the association you have between like a spiritual, softer, intuitive career with not making money or not having enough stability. It's almost like your false perceptions are blocking your root chakra, which is so deeply desiring to step into your spiritual gifts, but because of how you feel about those gifts, they're not coming in. So this makes so much sense why the leadership, didn't I say the leadership was blocked in the beginning? I think I did. You have to forgive these parts of self that judged your softer self. You have to forgive the parts of self that judged, criticized, berated, whatever your crimes against humanity were. Forgive yourself. What's coming up right now is forgiving the parts of you that really took advantage of your feminines or really, let me say it this way. How you treated your feminine or the feminines in your life, your intimate feminines. This is very specific, okay? How you've treated, no, let me be even clear. How you've mistreated your external feminines mirrors how you truly have felt about your inner feminine. Maybe you feel ashamed. Maybe you were brought up in a culture or society that, that judged men being softer. I don't have to go into the whole thing. This is so pervasive. This is such a common thing that, and I don't care what culture you're from. It's pretty pervasive globally. There are matriarchal cultures in the world. There's a few of them that I know about. I know like 3. There's some where women have 2 husbands. There's some where, there's all different configurations, but predominantly, we've lived in a patriarchal society. So yeah, this is just a call to deeper embrace. We have this sleep card, masculines. Have you been burning the candle at both ends? Have you been spinning your wheels, running on empty? There's something here about really, really, again, this is root chakra, safety, stability, physical wellness. Have you been not taking care of yourself? Or maybe masculines, you've just come through a really dense season, a really dense portal, a very karmic portal where you've confronted lesson after lesson after lesson. You went on your hero's journey, you battled all the beasts, and now you've come back home to the village to rest and recuperate. This is really important that you love yourself during this time of rest. Really make sure you're moving your body, you're nourishing your body with wonderful food that is made with love, that is sustainable. The name of the game, everyone, is how much consciousness can we bring to the micro moments of our life. So like, it's not enough to just go to the grocery store and eat healthy food, which is like great. If that's a stretch for you, that's your baseline. That's amazing. But, can you take it a step further? Can you find out where your food came from? Can you shop locally? Can you go meet the farmer that grew your food? Can you, it's like how you're being invited, masculines, to get as close you can to the source in your nourishment. Wow, this is a really powerful analogy coming through. Hold on. Okay, so you're being asked to be impeccable in word and deed. You've heard that phrase before, right? You're just being asked to bring intention and consciousness to everything that is in your scope, that everything that's in your ability to do so. I'm not saying like, sell all your belongings and go live with Mother Gaia full time. If that's what you're called to do, great. But this doesn't have to be that hard. And I just want to stress that this isn't about like really crossing your boundary to, be impeccable. It's really hard when you start learning about like chemicals in the food or chemicals in your cleaning supplies or in the weed killer. It's really overwhelming when you realize, oh my God, I'm surrounded by poison, right? It's like an awakening moment. And this is actually just an analogy for your greater awakening, masculines. Again, you're being asked to get as close as you can to source, to the source, whatever that is in your circumstance. Let's get some more information. I'm intrigued. Anything else? By the way, oh yes, I did. Never mind. I thought I didn't talk about the shadow position. I got excited because there was a second I looked at another card and it said relationship change, but I realized happy ending is our shadow card. Okay, what do we got? We have worthy. Again, self-love. We have immune support. Again, this goes with sleep. All right. Again, when you burn the candle at both ends, when you say yes when you want to say no, and no when you want to say yes, when you cross your own boundary, you have to understand this truth, masculines. And it's a scientifically proven truth that when you cross your boundary, physically or energetically, it affects your immune system. It creates karmic cleanup in the energy that you now have to deal with. So we're trying to live life in alignment with our soul's most authentic self-expression. We want to live in such a pristine way that we don't have to clean up all these messes. Like if you say yes when you want to say no, say a friend invites you to lunch. I don't know why I always use this example. It's not really that good, but I just always do. But say your friend invites you to lunch and you really don't want to go. Maybe you're exhausted. Maybe, you're dealing with child care and parent care and work issues and all the things. And it's not a hell yes for you to go. And you go anyway. When you are literally participating in something that you are not consenting to. You are not in consent with that experience. You have to understand from an energetic anatomy perspective, you are blowing a hole in your container. And out of that hole, you are leaking all of this precious life force. So what happens? Well, then you got to realize you're doing it and then go to work in repairing that moment, repairing that leak. All right. Where else are we going? I kind of brushed over it, but this is a really big deal. Again, masculines, do whatever you can to work on your self-esteem, whatever that is for you. And I just want to underline this for everyone. Try not to immediately go to more shallow, it's wonderful if you want to get, in great shape and change your hair and it's so beautiful to decorate the temple and whatever, but just make sure that you're stepping into the wholeness, that you're addressing the inside as much as the outside. I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm just saying don't abandon any parts of self. So bring all these parts. The name of the game is integration. Can we love ourselves enough to bring all of these, quote unquote, unforgivable parts of self, our dark parts, our cynical parts, our bitchy parts, our angry, our rebellious inner teenager and our tantruming little toddler? Can we bring all these parts of ourselves to the table and let them know that they are loved, let them know that they are welcome, let them know that they are enough just as they are. Okay? All right. Let me see what's in the unconscious just for shits and giggles. We have abundance. It came out in reverse. Okay, again, we're getting a similar message. Wait, what was this? Didn't we have... Oh, the happy ending. That's what it was. So we have a similar situation where we have a reversal in the shadow position. Again, this is a false shadow. Masculines, your abundance is not... It's not going to be what you think it is. So, just let go. Just let go. If you've had a dream your whole life, I'm not saying give up on it, but I am saying maybe just put it on the shelf for now and allow yourself to be empty long enough for the divine to gift you with a new awareness, with a missing puzzle piece of your consciousness. Okay, this is really important. Again, I'm going to say it again, that your abundance is going to come in, but it's not going to be what you think it is. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about that. I feel like that's a whole separate reading in and of itself. I'm going to pull these goddess cards because we've had a lot of feminine energy in this reading. Thank you, Spirit. Let's take them. We got a bunch. All right, we have Speak Up. Again, throat chakra. We're getting confirmations already. Ooh, we have Betrayal, which I just put on Forgiveness, I just realized. We have Alchemy and Live Out Loud. Again, another. So this Live Out Loud card is a self-esteem thing. Masculines, I'm going to invite you to love yourself enough to take up enough space to go at your own pace so that you can access wise discernment. When you move really fast, it's really easy to bypass a piece of your truth. And the byproduct of that is that we end up betraying or abandoning a part of self that we didn't slow down long enough to listen. And then, hold on, we're going in a minute. I feel like I'm going a mile a minute, even though this probably sounds like a slow reading, but the messages are like flipping through my brain. Okay, let's put this Alchemy card on the side here. Masculines, your core work, there's something around forgiveness and betrayal. Where have you been betrayed in your life? And now that you are who you are, now that you've done the work on yourself that you've done, now that you've stepped into this role as the divine parent who can parent all the parts of self that needed it, you're being asked to go back into those moments and parent that part of self that couldn't handle it when you were betrayed. This betrayal, I don't know where it comes from. Only you do. Maybe a parent, maybe an old beloved, maybe a teacher, maybe some people have had such profound violations of spirit. And what's really difficult is when we don't forgive those people, we end up punishing ourselves. Trauma is such a crazy thing. When we are abused, the victim ends up taking on the unclaimed pain of the abuser. Meaning, say a father hits his child. That father should have had remorse. The father should have felt bad about that, but maybe he didn't. And so where does that responsibility go? It's energy and it has to go somewhere. So oftentimes victims take on the unclaimed responsibility of the abuser. And it gets really, messy in the psyche when there's a fractured moment like that. And so in trauma healing, you have to go back and repattern that association. Anything else on that, Spirit? Okay, thank you. So just another message. I listen, it's not an accident that this forgiveness card, it's blue, throat chakra. We have Speak Up, this woman in this beautiful blue toga looking dress. Wait, can you guys see? I just focused. Hopefully you could see it. Masculines, is there something that you're dying to say to someone? Is there an open loop somewhere? Are you leaking energy to an uncommunicated correspondence, or is there some communication that's lingering that do you have an outstanding communication debt? Do you owe someone a conversation? Do you owe someone an explanation? Listen, when you step into deeper self-love, masculines, and you start to take accountability, ownership, and responsibility to become the leader of your own life, to step not into, but towards your sovereignty, that's going to include cleaning up your messes. So one of the biggest things you can do to support your self-love is stepping into that to be worthy of it. And part of that righteousness is being impeccable, having integrity, cleaning up these fractured moments with people, places, and things in a intentional way, in a kind way, in a way that neither invades nor abandons self. We don't have to always make things perfect. We can have really profound disagreements and confrontations with people, but we can still do so from a place of love, masculines. We can honor someone else's truth without abandoning our own, but we can clean it up in a kind way. We can really learn to hold our center for love in that type of difficult chaos. Listen, confrontation is one of the most difficult things for people, as well as forgiveness, and you have all of that wrapped up in one thing here. Okay, Spirit, what are we at? Half hour? Okay, where else? Is there anywhere else you want to go? I'm dying to get some of these spiritual guidance cards. I haven't used these in so long. But something called me to take them. So here we go. Anything else for these one? Thank you. Already we're getting... Embrace the moment, masculines. Embrace this day, this very moment. Think positively today and repel those negative thoughts. Try not to judge yourself or others. This may be harder than you think. What is actually happening is that you're charging. Oh, that's interesting. I said charging, but it's changing. What's actually happening, masculines, is that you're changing your energy. Really beautiful card. One of my spiritual mentors always talks about how in medieval times they had this concept called co-naturality. Co-naturality was this idea that you know what you know by virtue of being what you know. So, like back in medieval times, they didn't have like certification courses. They didn't have licensures, I don't think. They didn't have credentialing boards and commissions and all these different organizations to prove that people can do what they say they can do. Back in the day, people believed you could do what you could do because you were doing it. And that's a really simple way to say that, but it's also true. And that's what we're doing on this path of illumination and oneness. We study the things, we take the classes, we go to the retreats, we do the breath work and the meditation and the yoga and the it's like we do all these things, and at some point, if you just keep showing up, those things start to grow roots in the soul. And sooner or later, I am telling you, I feel like I almost want to guarantee this, but sooner or later, you wake up one day and you realize you're doing the thing that you could never do. You're being the person you've always wanted to be. You're being able to hold your center for love in chaos. You're able to talk to a crowd of people when you never could. You just kind of start, like the muscle memory takes over, and all of a sudden you look back and you're like, oh my God, look how far I've traveled. Look at who I've become. So masculines, like, honor this journey, honor how far you've come, keep your nose down to the grindstone and just take care of your own little plot of earth. That's it. Just take care of yourself in the present moment. Where is love? All you have to worry about is in the present moment, am I in love or am I in fear? Am I in openness and expansion, or am I shut down in contraction? And whatever one you are, again, you're being called to step into this parental role and parent the parts of self that need it. That's it. I know I say that's it, but it's much easier said than done, right? Okay, let's get some of these in. I don't know why I love this little deck. It's this cute little thing, and I kind of got it on a whim. I was with my niece and I just was called to it. It's the most adorable little thing. Let me stop talking. Okay, Spirit, any last words? Thank you. Okay, masculines, let me move this over. Beautiful. Wow. Okay, risk. Learn to grow wherever you are planted. And music. There is a melody to be heard in the deepest parts of the woods if only we listen. Wow, you put these together, masculines, and you are being called to take radical accountability for exactly where your roots are planted right now. And to just bring all of your micro attention, micro awareness, micro presence to exactly where you are. It doesn't matter where you are. Do not spend 1 ounce masculines of your sacred, precious life force in judging where you are or being upset that you're not somewhere else. You're here. You're going to be here. So you might as well clean up whatever is in front of you, right? Get your energy into present time. Flood your situation with radical love and ruthless accountability, and you'll be all right. Okay. All right. Is there anything else, Spirit? No, we're going to leave it there. I'm sending you all so much love. I'm really proud of you, masculines. None of this stuff is easy. And, we're just taking another evolution around the spiral, right? All right. I'm sending you all so much love, and I will see you in the next one.